Midday, good afternoon and welcome to JN. Today we're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, across all our social media handles. We're Joe News on TV. Coming up within the next 60 minutes, Attorney General Godfred Dami asked the police to expedite release of innocent persons being detained in connection with the Democracy Hub demonstration. We'll take you live to the Upper West Regional Capital, where President Akufo-Addo is expected to hold stakeholders meeting with clergy, chiefs and heads of security agencies as part of his tour of the Upper West and Upper East regions. Plus, Ghana Health Service intensifies measles vaccination as it hopes to halt spread of the disease. Stay with us for these plus business, sports and world news coming up in the next 60 minutes. My name is Faustina Safo. Please be my guest. Thanks for choosing us for your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Now we start with the Attorney General, Godfred Dami, because he's asking the Ghana Police Service to expedite release of innocent persons being detained in connection with the Democracy Hub demonstration. Speaking at the annual Judges and Magistrate Conference, Mr. Dami condemned the irresponsible demonstration. Let's get more on this. Join me now is Blessed Suga. He's there live for Joe News. Blessed, what else has come up?
Well, so this is the conference of the judges and magistrates, and as part of the courtesy, the association decided to extend an invitation to the Attorney General. However, giving some issues, as it describes it, of national importance, he veered off into talking about the recent demonstrations and I mean, obviously referring to some of the activities that we witnessed during the Democracy Hub demonstration over the illegal mining menace as not being in due course or in line with law, a reason for which he cited recent developments in the UK and the US as examples where persons who fall foul of the law irrespective of their demonstration would need to be equally punished, a reason for which he's asking the courts to proceed and to deal with these demonstrators in line with law. However, the broader conversation is about illegal mining. Beyond that, the Attorney General believes that the court also has a role to play, and he's hopeful that at the start of a new court year, the judges and magistrates sitting on illegal mining-related cases will deal with all of the outstanding cases within a period of 1 month.
Thank you, Blessed Suga. Now, away from this, the Ministry of Agriculture says the nation's food supply is secure, arguing Ghana is on the path to recovery after the harsh impact of dry spell experienced in some regions. Government was compelled to ban the export of grains and cereals in August after it emerged that over 900,000 farmers cultivating an estimated 1.8 million hectares had been affected by the dry spell, with potential losses estimated at 22.2 billion cedis. Well, let's broaden the conversation. We'll speak to Bismarck Norte. He is Executive Director of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Bismarck joins us via Zoom. Now, we just heard from the Agric Ministry yesterday, giving us updates on some of the key things government is rolling out to ensure that we see reduced impact on food security. Your thoughts about them so far? You'd have to unmute for me to hear you clearly. Bismarck. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear now. I'm just asking your thoughts about the measures government spoke about yesterday, rolling out to ensure they mitigate the impact of dry spell. They have assured us that indeed Ghana's food security is solid. They also say that moving forward, all the affected farmers will be receiving some sort of relief. Are you pleased with the efforts they're putting in so far? Bismarck, I still can't hear you. We would have to reposition our lines and get to Bismarck just to get his thoughts about this. We heard from the Agric Ministry yesterday, giving us updates on how government dealt with dry spell. If you recall, some months back, government had to place a ban on the export of rice, maize, and soya bean as a result of the impact of dry spell, and they were trying to ensure that Ghana's food supply is secure. I'm hoping I have better connection to Bismarck now. Do I?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear now. So I was just getting your brief thoughts about the revelations made by the Agric Minister Brian Champong yesterday. What are your thoughts about the measures they are rolling out for farmers?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. And if you recall, when this incident of drought happened, and the ministry announced the measures that they had put in place to mitigate the effects of the drought, whilst we agreed with some of them, we felt that more work needed to be done to ensure that the beneficiaries of this particular intervention are the actual and real beneficiaries, but not pseudo people who will camouflage as farmers to benefit. And so the expectation that we had was that along the line, the ministry will be able to furnish the people of Ghana with the actual details of the victims who suffered from this drought, the farmers, their locations, the size of acreages that they lost due to the drought. And then we also know the mode through which the support will be given, whether it should be cash in the form of a cash support, whether it should be through their Momo devices, or whether it should be through the going over to the Agric directory to take those particular. I think all these modalities were things that we wanted them to be out there for us to see and ensure that the process is quite transparent and that we don't have others who are not supposed to benefit. But as of now, we do not have the benefit of that information. So it's a bit difficult for us to comment regarding whether or not farmers are actually going to benefit. The only thing that we can say is that for now, we are setting up teams in the various districts to monitor how this particular distribution is ongoing. We have to ensure that, one, the farmers who are actually going to benefit are farmers who actually had their farms lost due to the drought. Two, we want to know the modalities through which the monitoring is being done, because currently we are hearing some reports that are not too pleasant, that there are some participants who are involved in the process, which we have to validate. But because of all these things, it's important that we do the monitoring to ensure that farmers who actually lost their livelihood because of the drought are the ones who benefit.
And that's what government is looking forward to. We heard from Brian Champong yesterday, just stating that effective 10th of October, poultry farmers will receive aid, affected farmers as well. He also made mention of interest-free loans for farmers worst hit by the impact of dry spell. You are concerned about the politicization of the whole process. How would you be doing this tracking you said you would be doing on the ground to ensure that the right individuals receive this relief?
Yeah, so when it comes to implementation of any agricultural interventions in the country, it is done at the district level. And for each district, we have the frontliners of agricultural implementation. That's the Agric district directors or the district directors for Agric. So in each region or in each district that we have farmers who were affected by this drought, the expectation is that the Agric directors will have the database of all the farmers who are affected. Because that's the first step. If the Agric directors do not have the data, then the first question is, on what basis are you going to identify the farmers in the district? So the expectation one is that the Agric directors should have a database of all the farmers in the district. And that's the first thing we're going to do. We are going to go to almost all the affected districts and find out from the Agric directors. You should give us a list of the members who were affected by the drought. And we'll cross-check and see the names behind the farmers who were provided and the acreages. Because our members live with them in the community and they will know. And they can tell us whether or not, one, they are farmers, two, they were affected, and three, whether the information regarding the acreages that they lost were true or not. That's the first step. Once we are able to mobilize and collect all this information, then we will now cross-check with the modalities that the ministry is using to distribute and see whether or not the numbers that are being provided or being spread around is the same as the specifics on the ground. Once we do that, we're able to tell that indeed the 800,000 farmers that have been identified are the actual farmers who suffer from this. So the system that we put in place to ensure that we monitor this particular people.
Thank you, Bismarck, for joining us here on GN today. Now, away from this, a new training initiative is equipping conservation practitioners and managers with innovative approaches to preserve and rejuvenate Ghana's endangered tree species and their natural habitats. Now, more than 10% of the country's indigenous tree species are at risk, making the development of effective conservation and restoration tactics in their native environments a pressing necessity. In our Climate Focus series today, Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin explores the critical need for novel methods to restore and protect Ghana's forests.
1/5 of the Earth's land surface is degraded, affecting the well-being of over 3 billion people as lakes dry up, forests vanish, and farmlands become dust bowls. To protect both nature and human health, there is a crucial need to restore 1.5 billion hectares of land by 2030.
To modify things if we're not covering what you would really like us to cover. So it's a team effort, and we're all...
A specialized course aimed at conservation practitioners and managers focuses on building capacity for on-site conservation of Ghana's endangered tree species, addressing this challenge through a practical and tailored program.
Right in the southwestern, down here is the evergreen forest, and as the name supposes, there's a lot of rainfall going on over there. Then we have the moist evergreen. We have the
Yao Etuahene Yako from the Resource Management Support Center of the Forestry Commission reflects on the past 20 years.
Yes, it means when we look back like 20, 25 years ago, for example, when I joined the Forestry Commission, I mean, the forest was in a far better state as we are seeing today. We are supposed as Forestry Commission to be improving on what is there. But there seems to be too much onslaught on the forest now, from all angles. By nature, we are suffering from wildfires and others. And then we also have people attacking the forest in terms of harvesting and illegal mining. So that's what we mean by the forest doesn't look too good now because of these factors that is affecting the forest. I mean, they are very, very challenging.
Yao emphasizes the importance of forest protection and urges communities not to destroy the natural habitat.
Yes, the point is, we are doing our best to restore the forest. But protection is very important because if we lose the forest and even we try to restore it, we can never get it back to its original stage. That's what I mean by you can never plant a forest and let it look like what God created. I mean, he is a master creator. His is different. With high biodiversity, a lot of species, animals, all the different kind of species are within a forest. When you destroy that one and you plant, you are putting in together maybe maximum 10 species in that land, in maybe a square hectare, in a hectare of land.
Away from that, the Ghana Health Service in the northern region is set to immunize more than 400,000 children this year for measles rubella. According to the service, Ghana's demographic and health survey for 2022 and 2023 shows the region has covered 56.5% respectively, which is far less than the 95% target coverage required to achieve measles elimination. There's more in this report.
The objective of the immunization is to reduce measles and rubella morbidity by preventing new cases and associated complications, improve access to measles and rubella vaccination service for all children, especially those in underserved communities and high-risk districts. Addressing the media at the Northern Regional Lunch, the Northern Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Abdullahi Abukari, said elimination of measles is possible if population immunity is kept at more than 95% coverage over long periods through routine immunization.
Vaccination coverage has stagnated for some time now. More than 10% of our children are enriched with immunization services. Therefore, continued efforts are required to fully protect all our children from vaccine-preventable diseases. In order to achieve measles elimination, 2 doses of measles rubella vaccine are needed. And we as Ghana Health Service, with a mandate to provide primary health care, are expected to cover about 95% of routine coverage with 2 doses of measles rubella vaccine. As a region, ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Demographic and Health Survey for 2022 indicated that 56.5 coverage. In 2022, the expanded program on immunization survey showed that 76.9, that is our coverage, and which is far less than the 95% target coverage which is required to achieve measles elimination.
He said the northern region is also set to roll out its malaria immunization across the system.
Well, the vaccination drive is being replicated in the Bono East region, and Anas Sabit joins us with updates on this. How's the exercise going so far, Anas?
Provide comprehensive on all vulnerable groups.
Health authorities in the Bono East region have also kick-started this particular campaign with the region targeting about 209,000 children between the ages of 9 and 59 months to be vaccinated against measles and rubella within the next 5 days, starting today and then ending on Sunday, October 6. The reasons, according to the Health Directorate, is because measles cases in recent times have been increasing, with the region recording 23 cases in the year 2023. And this year, from January to date, already some 43 cases of measles have been recorded in the Bono East Enclave. And so Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Paulina Clara Pia, has been telling us how necessary this exercise is, and the very reason why they feel parents and stakeholders in the area should collaborate to ensure that this exercise is a success in the region. They've instituted teams, outdoor teams. They have people who will be targeting children in schools, because we've been going to some schools already to make sure this is done. And there are also teams that will be targeting out-of-school children. And if you go to the far east of the region, through east and Sene East areas, we have some island communities already. A team has been dispatched to that area to ensure that those children or children within the island communities are equally vaccinated within the next 5 days.
Thank you, Anas. We can now speak to Dr. Kwame Amponsah-Chiano. He's head of the expanded program on immunization. Thank you for your time here on Joy News today. Now, one of the key challenges you would face on the ground is vaccine hesitancy. How are you planning to deal with this?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I could only hear how you're planning to deal with something.
Okay, Doc.
You are not audible, please.
Can you hear me now? I'm hoping my connection to you is better. I'm asking that one of the challenges you would face on the ground is vaccine hesitancy. How are you planning to deal with this challenge effectively?
Well, I'm not too sure about vaccine hesitancy, but of course, usually when you are doing a program like that, you may come across 1 or 2 people who may not have had enough information. What we do is that we use a mix of strategies to get to the caregivers and the other secondary targets. For us, the unit of operation is the district. So at the district level, we normally will work with community members, the leaders, religious leaders, the district assembly, the assembly members, of course, the honorable DCs. They also work with the schools, the creches, and all that. And we know they've done all these. We also support them from the national level through what we did yesterday, for example, the launch, and then the media engagement. An example is what we are doing now. So all these things, we think, should be able to help for the eligible children and their caregivers to be adequately informed. And for that matter, they bring their children and make them available for this exercise.
What is your target with this vaccination drive?
Well, we are targeting to reach approximately 5.3 million children between 9 months and 5 years, just before they attain 5 years.
Would there be any special focus on demography?
Come again, please.
Would there be any special focus on demography, like where you stay?
Demography?
Yes.
Can you calm down a bit, because I don't understand that, please.
In the vaccination drive, I would like you to clarify for me, would you be going hard on certain areas, like probably the Ashanti region or the Greater Accra region, because of some of the cases you have had reported?
No, this is a nationwide exercise. All regions are involved, all districts are involved. Okay. And so it's not targeted. It's across the country, from Zuarungu to Bisco, and from west to east.
Dr. Kwame Aponsachiano, thank you for your time here on Journey today. He's programs manager for the expanded immunization program. Thank you for your time. Let's do some other stories now, because we are your election headquarters. Well, President Akufo-Addo is expected to hold a stakeholders engagement as part of his campaign tour of the Upper West and the Upper East regions. The president, who started his tour on Tuesday, will meet the clergy, Muslim clerics, chiefs and heads of security agencies in the region. Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam joins us live with details. Rafiq, has he touched down yet?
The president currently is addressing members of the Upper West Regional House of Chiefs, the clergy, and then also some big talk from the Upper West region about his mission in the Upper West region. So currently, he's telling them that his mission of being in the Upper West region is to thank the people of the region, and to a very large extent the people of Ghana, for the opportunity giving him to be the president for almost 4 years, and he thinks that it's an honor done him. The president also is also using that opportunity to talk about the achievement of his administration, talking about health, education, economy, and the role. And then one thing that he emphasized on was that he said he met, he said that he will believe, he's hopeful that he will be leaving power better than where he met the state of the economy in terms of growth, and also talking about education. And he also touted the achievement of the free senior high school, and also the quality of education in the country, which he thinks that is unmatched.
Rafiq Salam there joining us from the Upper West region. Now, presidential candidate of the opposition National Democratic Congress, John Dramani Mahama, has taken his campaign to the Northeast region, the home region of the governing New Patriotic Party's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Maswa Agbawa joins us from the Gambaga Chief's Palace, where residents have gathered awaiting the arrival of John Dramani Mahama. Maxwell, has he arrived yet? Maxwell, you have to position rightly for me to hear you. I'm just finding out, has John Dramani Mahama arrived yet?
Yes, he arrived about 35 minutes ago, and he just finished addressing the crowd at the Gambaga Chief's Palace. And in his speech, he's been talking about development with the 6 new regions that were created. He said the current NPP government has not provided the needed development that fits the status of these 6 new regions. He's promising that a future NDC government will create this needed infrastructure for these 6 new regions. He talked about the construction of campuses, he talked about the construction of regional hospitals to befit the status of these 6 new regions. He has also been talking about the cost of performing the Hajj, which he says has gone up astronomically. He said when the NDC was in power, it cost just about 11,000 Ghana cedis for people to travel to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. But he said now it costs more than 70,000 Ghana cedis to get that done. He said a future NDC government would ensure that they reduce the cost of performing the Hajj so that more Muslims can travel outside the country to perform one of the pillars of Islam. He has also been talking about an extra holiday, an extra Eid holiday for Muslims, and that received a lot of support from the people.
Thank you, Maxwell Agwagwa. Well, religious leaders in the Ashanti region defied a downpour Tuesday morning to embark on a peace march to clamor for a transparent, peaceful election in 2024. They marched through the principal streets of Kumasi in the rains and later presented a petition to the Electoral Commission urging a peaceful conduct of the polls. There's more in this report.
Leaders of Christian, Islam and other faiths join a common call for the Electoral Commission to be fair and transparent, but steadfast in the discharge of its duties ahead of the 2024 elections. Convener of the Coalition of Muslim and Christian Clergy, Reverend Dr. Inokwablan Ketia, said the religious groups are prepared to stand by the Commission in prayers for a successful conduct of the election.
This coalition of Muslims, clergy and Christian clergy, as we come together, we can foster some kind of unity in the electoral process. Yeah, fairness and honesty. You see, I mean, we all have franchise, we all vote. As we stand here, all of us have our own political affiliations, but we have to be fair. We don't have to, side with any political party, but make sure, we will put things in the right perspective. We have to understand that Ghana is bigger than any political party. So we need to ensure that we will speak to our followers, to be transparent.
The clergy plans to extend their engagement to political parties. Ashanti Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Francis Oseinsia, assured the Commission will play its part in ensuring credible elections.
They indicated to us yesterday that they will be here to give us support or to encourage the Electoral Commission to continue what we are doing. So this morning they have come, and indeed they came to encourage us, they came to strengthen us, and they came to support us that we should concentrate and execute our mandates. So we also received their petition, and we are going to forward same to the management in Accra, and we have assured them that we will go by the rules of the game. We'll make sure that we will not deviate. So it was an encouragement to the Commission.
The assurance comes as the Electoral Commission held a historic inter-party advisory committee meeting with political parties and other interest groups with the media participation.
A spokesperson of the National Democratic Congress at the University Teachers Association of Ghana Dialogue Series, Professor George Odro, is accusing the governing New Patriotic Party of distorting Ghana's educational sector. He penciled acute infrastructural deficits, erratic academic calendar, inadequate investment on the professional needs of teachers, delayed payments of food supplies as some of the setbacks in the sector. Professor Odro spoke at the UTAG Political Parties Dialogue Series at Jirapa, from where Rafik Salam reports.
The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, provides a platform for political parties, groupings to share their vision and policy proposals on critical national issues, including education, economy, inclusive governance, energy, and the environment. The engagement between the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) and UTAG is therefore to understand what the former will do should they be voted into power. The engagement also affords members of UTAG the opportunity to ask questions pertaining to the party's policy proposals. National President of UTAG, Professor Mahmoud A. Akudugu, set the tone for the engagement.
See this as a friendly engagement that we believe will help shape the policy frameworks that you want to implement when given the opportunity by Ghanaians to lead us from January 7, 2025. We have already shared with you some of the areas we believe we needed to have these conversations on. There are some general areas that affect almost everybody, and there are specific areas that affect the academic community that we want answers as to how you want to address them for us.
Professor George K.T. Oduro, who is the representative of John Dramani Mahama and the NDC party spokesperson on education drew the first blood, lashing out at the governing New Patriotic Party (NPP) for the hurried and harem-scarum manner they handle the education sector, which has resulted in severe distortions.
Acute infrastructural deficit, an erratic academic calendar, inconsistent curricula, inadequate investment in the professional needs of teachers, delayed payment of food suppliers to schools, indiscipline, poor industrial relations leading to prolonged and unresolved strikes, inadequate teaching and learning materials, over 5,000 basic schools still operating under trees, slumping quality in education outcomes, and many other fundamental operational challenges that inhibit quality education.
He noted that the fundamentals of education in the country are weakened and therefore needs to be reset.
Upgrading a failing system only scales up the degree of failure. Hence, our 2024 manifesto seeks to reset our educational system towards building the Ghana we want together. To reset the educational system, the NDC, within the first 120 days of assuming office, will hold a stakeholders forum to review the educational system.
Former Finance Minister Sef Tekpe, who spoke on the economy, noted that the major challenge faced by the country is its inability to pay interest or service its debts, which he believes an NDC government will have an antidote to.
The problem we are facing is that we are not able to pay interest. We are not able to service our debts, which is interest plus principal. And somebody is telling you that, you are doing well by taking the interest you are not able to pay in measuring your success.
You're watching Journeys. Today we'll be back with business, sports, and showbiz. So stay tuned in.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The year-on-year inflation for the month of September 2024 has increased to 21.5% from 24.4% recorded in the month of August. The Ghana Statistical Service has attributed the increase to a rise in food inflation. Food inflation surged to 22.1% from 19.1% in August. However, non-food inflation declined to 20.9% from 21.5% in August. Here's more from government statistician Professor Samuel Kobneni.
In the month of September 2024, year-on-year rate of inflation stood at 21.5%, indicating that between September 2023 and September 2024, the average price levels of goods and services went up by 21.5%. On a year-on-year basis, for September 2024, prices of goods and services went up by 21.5%. This indicates a 1.1 percentage point variation between the year-on-year inflation that was recorded in August 2024, which stood at 20.4%, relative to the 21.5% that has been recorded for September 2024. Disaggregating this from a food and non-food perspective, food inflation recorded a higher rate of 22.1%, while non-food inflation recorded 20.9% for the month of September 2024. While we are seeing an increasing rate for food inflation by 3.0 percentage points between August 2024 and September 2024, we see a marginal decline for non-food inflation as it declined by 0.6 percentage points from 21.5% in August 2024 to 20.9% in September 2024. From a regional perspective, the Savannah region recorded the highest rate of inflation of 36.4%, and this was more than twice the region that recorded the lowest rate of inflation, which was the Northeast region that recorded the lowest rate of inflation of 16.7%. From a locally produced item perspective and an imported item perspective, we recorded a 6.4 percentage point difference between inflation for locally produced items, which stood at 23.4% relative to 17.0% for inflation for imported items.
In other news, for the first time in 4 years, shareholders of Amenfiman Rural Bank will receive returns on their investments as the bank has announced a 35% dividend on shares. The bank has been profitable over the period, but payment of dividends stalled due to the Bank of Ghana's directive in the implementation of the domestic debt exchange program with the IMF. The announced payment of dividends has come as a relief to shareholders. Nanai Al-Jima was at the bank's annual general meeting and has filed this report.
Returns on investment in shares of rural banks are a major source of revenue to some shareholders. For 15 years, a retired educationist, Daniel Sebe, has been a shareholder of Amenfiman Rural Bank. The dividend from the shares held at the bank has helped cushion him financially, as his pension pay is unable to cover all expenses. Daniel says the halt in payment of dividends due to a directive from the Bank of Ghana was not received lightly.
Yes, depend on it very much. Yes.
So the amount you get from it on annual basis is okay for you?
Oh, I would say so. Yes. After all, we can't satisfy everybody. So what I get, I'm okay.
The move of the central bank to halt payment of dividends was also aimed at building the capital adequacy ratio of banks and specialized deposit-taking institutions, aside from the economic challenges of the country. For the 2023 financial year, the regulator has requested banks with the capacity to pay dividends to present their financials for approval. Amenfiman Rural Bank's profit before tax surged by 127% in the 2023 financial year, positively affecting other financial indicators. With a profit margin of 24 million cedis and deposits increasing to 768 million cedis in 2023, Amenfiman has received approval to disburse dividends. Dr. Tony Oben is board chairman.
People invest to be able to reap some dividend from it, some earnings from it. Otherwise, they would have put their money elsewhere. So when they do that and they don't get any returns, they don't get the dividend that they are supposed to make, it's very discouraging. It makes them always wonder whether it was wise for them to have invested. And it wasn't because the bank was not making profit. We kept drumming the fact that we were doing very well, the bank was doing extremely well.
About 3 months to the end of 2024, deposits have increased to 1.3 billion cedis. The bank has more than doubled its profit margins to 60 million cedis for the year 2024. For Joy News, Nanai Al-Jima, Wasa Menfi.
All right, and that's it for this segment. The news continues after the break.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News. Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abda. The Confederation of African Football has approved the Accra Sports Stadium as the venue that will be hosting Match Day 3 of the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier between Ghana and Sudan. CAF had banned Ghana's use of Baba Yara Sports Stadium from hosting international matches following the use of the venue for a game between Ghana and Angola on September 5. The Ghana Football Association wrote to CAF to come and inspect the Accra and Legon stadia and approve either of them to be able to host the match. CAF inspected the Accra Sports Stadium on Saturday and also went to Cape Coast Sports Stadium on Friday to inspect those facilities. Joy Sports Intel revealed that when CAF was inspecting the Accra Sports Stadium, they asked them to complete the technical benches. Instead of 21, Ghana had only 15. So the National Sports Authority was asked to make available 6 more benches that will complete the technical bench and also provide 4 seats for the match commissioner and his team. Following the inspection of the facility as well, they realized that The showers could not produce warm water, so they were also asked to fix those, and the washrooms as well. So when the National Sports Authority fixed these on Sunday and on Monday, CAF wrote to them on Tuesday evening approving the Accra Sports Stadium for the game that will be happening on October 11. An executive council member of the Ghana Football Association, Randy Abe, has justified why members of, or management committee members of the various national teams must be paid bonuses. According to him, leadership of the GFA is held responsible when there is failure, hence they should be rewarded when there is success.
Why do we pay a bonus? We pay a bonus for recognition of success. So success has been achieved, and we think that it ought to be rewarded. And so we identify those who are responsible as far as the success is concerned, and then we reward them. Is that not the case? Now, I always ask, in this country, when the Black Stars fail, they fail to perform. What's the first name that is mentioned? It's the GFA president. Even before people go to speak about the coach and even want to speak about players. I mean, there are people who don't even know who the mazer or the physio or the assistant coach of the national team is. People hold people responsible when there's failure. Why must these people not be recognized when there's success? If you think that it is okay to hold people responsible when there's failure, why must you not see it as okay to reward those people when there's success? Today, who has been invited by Parliament here? Who? Who are those who are before Parliament today?
That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your time.
Hello there, good afternoon. You're welcome to the Showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabua. Now to our first story, Ghanaian rapper Amarado has finally spilled the beans on why he passed up the chance to collaborate with fellow musician Berima Sydney. Turns out it all boils down to inspiration. In a recent interview with Joy FM's Kwame Datsi on Showbiz A to Z, Amarado shared that when the creative spark isn't just there, he prefers to sit out on collaborations.
Amarado revealed that his inspiration is his go-to compass when deciding whether to jump on a song, referencing Berima Sydney's offer as he politely turned down because the vibe just wasn't right.
Yes, a typical example is the legendary Berima Sydney. He sent me a song. I loved the song, but I spoke with my team that I think maybe this one is not something that made me a seho panty. Wow. I requested for a remix of one of his monster hits. Yeah. Like, that couldn't happen too. That's fine. But I will tell you humbly, or maybe I'll give you a reaction that will let you know that, wait there. And Joyce Blessing sent me a song last 2 days. I did it yesterday for her because I could really connect to the song, the overdue song. Yeah, I could really connect, and we are working on a remix. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though she's a gospel artist, I've done it.
Interesting.
So I just have to connect with the song, and I've seen a couple of interviews that the legendary Berima Sydney been talking about the fact that I ignored the feature.
Yeah.
He should take it easy on me, because who wouldn't want to work with Sydney? But sometimes maybe we'll work on a song that I can really explore there.
But don't count Berima Sydney out just yet. Amarado made it clear that he respects Sydney's contributions to the music industry and would love to work with him if the right tune hits.
Well, the legal spotlight on hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs just got a lot brighter. More than 100 people are gearing up to file lawsuits against the rapper, accusing him of sexual assault, rape, and exploitation. Some of the alleged victims were reportedly to be as young as 9 years old.
Texas-based lawyer Tony Busby, who represents the alleged victims, revealed that the accusations span from coast to coast with over 25 states involved. He is not holding back, stating that the total number of victims currently stands at 120, with an equal mix of men and women. Busby even hinted that there could be 100 more under review.
There are 60 males and 60 females. The youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. Conduct at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024. If you wonder why there are so many alleged victims, that's your answer.
He claims that many of these alleged assaults took place during high-profile events like album release parties and New Year's Eve celebrations, while some even happened during auditions. One particularly chilling allegation involves a 15-year-old girl who says she was flown to New York for a party hosted by Combs, where she was reportedly raped. Busby suggests that there was a pattern to the attacks, alleging that victims were often given drug-laced drinks before being assaulted. However, Combs' legal team led by attorney Erica Wolf isn't backing down. Erica Wolf firmly stated that the allegations are false and defamatory, with Combs emphatically denying any wrongdoing. The rapper, already facing criminal charges for racketeering and sex trafficking, remains in federal custody after being denied bail, though his team is appealing that decision. With the legal heat intensifying and more alleged victims stepping forward, this case is set to be one for the history books.
Well, that's all for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Smart Yabua. Over to you, Faustina.
Thank you, Jacqueline, for bringing out showbiz. I'm looking forward to his trial. I'm hoping it will be telecast live. Well, that's it for Joy News today. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Some top stories there. AG defends prosecution of Galamsey protesters, citing threats to national peace. You can read that on My Joy Online. My name is Faustina Safo. Good afternoon.